Hello everyone, I'm Krasi, and I feel that this is very important video because it has to do with Pluto, who entered Capricorn just a couple of days ago on the 13th of January 2020 and will stay 21 years in sidereal Capricorn. And as you know, he's a very, very slow planet, and any movement of Pluto matters and influences the collective consciousness of us, the humans on Earth. He just has very powerful influences. I know that you will say that the ancients didn't know about the trans-Saturnine planets, Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune. Actually, this is not true, but this is a very, very big topic that probably I will address in another video. The ancients knew about the trans-Saturnine planets, but there was a very specific reason why they had different, if you say, they've given different attention to them. Now, Pluto stays, look what a perfect mathematician God is. The three trans-Saturnine planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. So Uranus stays in one sign 7 years, plus 7 years, Neptune stays in one sign 14 years, and plus another 7 years, Pluto stays in one sign 21 years. So this is a very important transit, and indeed it works mainly on the collective level, on well, not only of course, but mainly very powerfully collectively. So this is important, and probably you're feeling already the energies of Pluto. But let's see briefly, who is Pluto? We know that Pluto is naturally ruling the 8th house of astrology because he's the ruler of Scorpio. And the 8th house is associated with the secrecy, with death and birth, with the rebirth. It is about the deepest of the deepest energies. This is the 8th house and this is Pluto. But first of all, who is Pluto? Now, as of archetype, as of principle, both Pluto and Mars are represented by divinity Nergal, who is the god of the nether world. The god of the nether world, everything which is happening under the ground, everything which is happening in secrecy, and everything that we don't see. So Nergal, Mars, of course Mars is very different type of energy, different type of manifestations of these energies, but Pluto is also sharing this archetype. Another thing, based on some Babylonian myths, and when you take the epic of creation, we can even think that Pluto is in a way associated with Saturn, and I have separate video about this. You can find it on my channel about trans-Saturnine planets. Pluto is archetype behind the god Gaga, who is like a child to Saturn, to Ninurta. And of course, Pluto is malefic planet. Now, very interesting thing, according to the words of the Bulgarian master being Sadunu, who was born just in order to introduce us into the new era of Aquarius. So he's one of those great universal masters whose knowledge is known all over the world. His white brotherhood is known since the times of before Babylon, in Sumerian times. So it's a very ancient knowledge which the master being Sadunu came just to remind us, to revive this knowledge. So he's saying something very important. If you understand this in depth, you will not have problems with the transit of Pluto, which is very serious. Pluto, he's saying, is the God's truth, rules and directs wisdom, the wise processes in the universe. I repeat, the processes of wisdom in the universe. On Earth, Pluto is the hell. To those who do not know what truth is, he is just heaven, paradise. So it's very important to understand truth. This is Pluto, the universal laws of truth. This would say that among all virtues, truth is so important. And you can imagine people who have badly placed Pluto. What is meaning badly placed? Who would square the sun, who would be in difficult position in the horoscope and will suffer, of course, from these heavy influences of Pluto, be sure that they still need to work on the laws of wisdom and truth. Another thing, Master Being Suduno is saying, of course, everything can be forgiven, everything, but not the lie. So it means that it's a very serious thing to not to deviate from the truth, not to deviate from the truth. And this is a lot about the nature of Pluto. When we understand deeply this, of course, we can make we can make a lot of how to say, we can make a lot of variations on what Pluto means, but the basic is this: the laws, the universal laws of truth, and not to deviate from the truth. And imagine if you feel that you have Pluto who is square in the sun and you have troubles with this, who is making malefic aspects in your horoscope, keep in mind that you need to work on not violating by any means the truth, because everything else in the universe can be forgiven, but not the lie. Then further, what is very important, what is happening? Pluto is entering Capricorn. We know that we have issues with Capricorn already very seriously since end of January 2020, when Saturn entered sidereal Capricorn, where he will be until the beginning of 2023. Another very, very serious slow transit. So Saturn is in Capricorn, and we started to experience these very heavy restrictive energies of the Lord of Capricorn Saturn since the beginning of January. And you know all perfectly about this. I don't need to give you examples because we live in this astrology. We're living astrology. It's the living astrology happening right now to us. So yes, we know about this, but what is happening? If we just imagine that these two planets, Saturn is malefic, Saturn is the lord of karma, Ninurta. I was explaining you in a separate video the Babylonian archetype behind Saturn. So he's the lord of karma, of course, and he's also very much about wisdom. So Saturn is in Capricorn, where he obviously is very, very strong and where he is bringing these world changes. Pluto has something to do with these energies too, because somehow they're related. If we really believe the mythological story, and if we assume that Gaga, a god, is Pluto and it is related to Saturn, probably they're not enemies, just the other way around. They in a way bring us this knowledge karmically, to understand and to improve our perceptions, understanding, and application of truth, how we apply truth in our lives. So you see, Pluto in Capricorn, Pluto who is ruling the netherworld. And here another very interesting thing I will tell you more specifically about the netherworld. So look what again Master Being Suduno is explaining about the netherworld and Pluto. So he is saying in 1903, he was saying in one of his lectures that people who are ruled by Pluto oftentimes would work a lot with the ground. They would be working with plants. So, and this has to do in order to establish harmonious relationship with the netherworld. Touch the ground, work with the ground. So he's saying that Pluto is about the netherworld and is responsible for the roots of the plants to get the right nutritions in order the growth to manifest, to come true. So it is, if Pluto is really related to the roots, and if he's related to the birth and to the continuation of life in nature, imagine how important is to be in harmony with Pluto. And then the Master Being Suduno is saying that through working with the ground, working with the fruits of the ground, we are establishing harmonious relationship with the Plutonian kingdom. And he's saying further that the influence of Pluto on the humanity is so huge that is why we need to work and touch the ground, and we need to so what will happen? This seems like a very beautiful description, maybe the most appropriate and very important. What is happening? Pluto enters Capricorn. What is Capricorn? Capricorn is the ground. Capricorn is not only restrictions which we see, his restrictions, obviously huge restrictions. He is the governments. Pluto enters Capricorn. This would say, if we don't re-establish, restart, or renew our connection with the plants, with the forest, with the ground, we may lose the game. We may lose this, we may not be able to have harmony with the Plutonian energies, which will be felt very, very much. And otherwise, what will Pluto bring us? I will tell you, if Pluto is the netherworld, Pluto is actually the atomic bomb. Pluto is the hidden. Pluto is like, he's working like an atomic bomb, something very deep and surprising and malefic. Pluto is giving later influences, impacts. Like imagine, I'll give an unfortunate example. You have a tree and then somebody is cutting the roots. The tree wouldn't die immediately. It would take a week or two to see the tree completely dry. These are the Plutonian energies. They need to be understood very, very well. They're very natural. And we are given these heavy Plutonian energies and influences because we are not very much in understanding, in harmony with the laws of truth. People who understand these laws, who never deviate from the truth, who are in harmony with the land, with the ground, with the nature, with the forest, with plants, won't suffer with the influences of Pluto in Capricorn. Otherwise, you can imagine the heavy Plutonian energy sitting on the throne of Saturn. Capricorn, the goldfish. The goldfish is a lot about what we're experiencing now. Attempts to establish limitations, governmental structures. But yet, Pluto can bring what he is the Lord of Truth of the universe, not only of your and my horoscope. He is the Lord of Truth. He will bring truth, which we may not even be able to take. Such powerful his influence will be. Those that have badly placed Pluto need urgently to understand the laws of the Plutonian truthful energies of wisdom. This is important, like crucially important. So you can imagine, so the heavy Pluto, which is responsible for giving the energies and the nutrition to the plants to grow, is entering sidereal Capricorn, and also the very same Pluto is about the negative aspects of Pluto are what? What is the opposition of truth? It is manipulation. It is the lie. It is total deviations from what is truthful and moral. So this is what he can establish. This is what we will be witnessing in happening in the world. And our way out is to stick to the truth, to the nature, to plants. And when we're in harmony with the Plutonian kingdom, nothing can harm us because he is working for the universe, not only limited on our own horoscopes. I feel this is very important message because I was also researching these energies, and unfortunately Pluto was in Capricorn somewhere in the 12 years of the 1200 something, and I couldn't get, unfortunately, enough historical evidences to tell you Pluto specifically did this and that, he caused this and this war. This I couldn't check because the information is indeed scarce. But what I can tell you is based on the wisdom of the ancients. And yes, I think that we can get only the positive and the high vibrations of the Plutonian energies in Capricorn. Otherwise, you can see two very limiting and two very restrictive planets, both malefic, both karmically given to us because we unfortunately didn't learn some of the lessons of wisdom and truth. So you see them meeting in the place where you have the goldfish. So you see, it's a very serious thing that we need to consider, and we need. Pluto is easily creating fears. So we may feel, especially people who have Capricorn ascendant, Capricorn midheaven, Moon in Capricorn, Sun in Capricorn, Capricorn descendant, may be under the heavy influences of Pluto and Saturn in this very same moment. They may go through a hardship. That is why remain very truthful. Remain very much believing that everything is happening for a reason, and this is the best ever time on earth to learn. What we are learning now, we can't possibly learn even in 10 incarnations on earth. So we need to be very grateful. More and more this astrology life lesson is taking place in my life, more and more grateful I am, because this is a great chance, great chance. Now when I'm telling you this, think of your perception on truth, saying the truth or not, moral values, and deviate you from the truth or not. Everything can be changed as of now so that you can stay on and benefit from the high Plutonian energies or not. You may really suffer from his low energies, which are manipulation, falling in the trap of manipulation, falling in the trap of the matrix, which wants exactly this, to enslave you through manipulation and through lack of connection with nature. Lack of connection in nature is with what we should not allow. During these 21 years of new era, 13th of January, I think, like 2-3 days ago, Pluto entered Capricorn, where he will be staying for 21 years. So 21 years of new era, which may be totally bad and beautiful. So it depends on, you see, he is what? Scorpio is what? Death and rebirth. So could be, it's really about being on this or on that side. It's really up to how we vibrate positively, connection with our higher selves, with the creator, and absolutely remaining very moral and very much truthful. So I will stop with this because I don't want to dilute this, as I feel this is important message and hopefully useful for you. If you have any other experiences with Pluto, of course, please share. This is very interesting because, like I told you, I couldn't get historical evidences to tell you, oh, historically this and this happened with Pluto being in Capricorn, because first of all, history is made by winners, so history is always manipulated platonically, if you want. So we cannot really rely on historical data. But if you have own experiences, please share. So see you soon.